up, everybody? Welcome to virtualdealfactor.com, Virtual Deal Factor Daily. Damian here with a weekly wrap-up for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about the brand new iPhone. I'm going to talk about the next COO show inside the Virtual Deal Factory. I'm going to finally talk about Lost. I know Lost wrapped up a little while ago, but it's taken me some time to digest it, and also I didn't want to ruin it in case anybody missed the show finale. So we talk a little bit about Lost, and last but not least, I'm going to tell you my solution to the Gulf oil spill problem, my own solution, which I hope doesn't get me in a whole lot of trouble if anybody listens to it. So we're friends though here, so just keep it on the QT. All right, so I want to talk about, first of all, the brand new iPhone. I can't even pronounce it. It's a 3GS smartphone. And I want to talk about what this has to do with you as a real estate investor and marketer. Well, first of all, I mean, technology is cool. It's great to be able to go out and look at properties from the road or check your internet business or your leads and all that stuff. And that's all really cool, but that's not the reason I want to talk about it. What I want to talk about is this, is everybody, and you see this all the time on CNN, you see this all over the place, and people keep talking about, oh, you know, the wacky economy, the wacky economy, the wacky economy. Now, granted, it is wacky. No way to spin it. It's a wacky economy right now. However, they projected that the new iPhone would sell 500,000 units in 3 days. 500,000 units, which is unbelievable. Do you know how many they sold? 1 million. 1 million units. So all the issues, all the challenges, all the wackiness in the economy, the iPhone still sold 1 million units in a weekend. Well, what is that? What's the point? What's the lesson for you? Well, it gets back to a marketing principle that I've shared before, and I'll share again and again. It's just a fundamental marketing principle, which is that people respond and buy wants, not needs. So many times when we're in marketing, internet marketing, real estate, things like that, we just want to sort of talk about, well, you need this, you need this. And we try to tell them they need something, or we try to tell them what they need to hear, as opposed to, as marketers, realizing, you know what, we really need to tell people what they want to hear. Now, granted, at the end of the day, you do need to fulfill a need. Otherwise, you're not performing a service and you're not going to last and you're not going to get referral business, and that's a bad thing. However, from a marketing perspective, if you want to hook people, if you want to get a response, you need to respond to wants. I don't think anybody really needed the new iPhone 3GS, but 1 million people who probably didn't even have the budget to really make a smart buying decision about it still got it. Why? Because they wanted it. So whether you're trying to sell a property or get somebody to buy a property, or you're doing an affiliate program, or you sell an information product, whatever it is, remember, you need to speak to wants. So important that you look to meet people's wants, not their needs. All right, next up, next COO update. So, as you know, inside the Virtual Deal Factory, you might have met him already, our next COO candidate, Peter Akar. We've actually let him do a couple shows, so we've got some sneak previews of Peter and the next COO. And so this past weekend, what we're doing is we're actually taking a little more time to put the show together, because we're hoping to get some public access distribution. So it's not only web TV, but we're actually on network TV as well. And so we've been putting together some pilot footage. We were actually up at Gainesville University recruiting for a cast, and got some great footage. So we have about 80% of the pilot done, and we'll be working on that the next couple of weeks. And we kind of want to get that done before we actually start the real-time show, because the show is going to be in real time, where what you're seeing is what's happening right now. We need to get that done in advance, so that hopefully we can get some of the public access stations behind us, in addition to our own distribution channels, which would be really, really cool. So that's the update. By the way, if you know anybody who you think would be phenomenal to come live in the VDF house for 8 weeks, be a part of the experience of building and making VDF global, and turning it into a Fortune 100 company, definitely let Peter Akar know. Friend him inside of VDF, send him a note, or you could even let Vinny know. Maybe you even want to come live in the VDF house and apply. Definitely let us know. We're looking for some superstars, some all-stars, and some people that know how to make things happen. Really cool stuff. All right, before I get to my Gulf oil spill solution, which I have a strange feeling if my wife is watching this episode or watches this, well, she's actually out of the house walking Starbucks. So, because if she heard me tell you what I'm going to tell you in a second, I think she might be like, Damian, you can't say that. But freedom of speech, right? But before I get to that, Lost, the conclusion of Lost. As you know, I'm a huge Huge, huge Lost fan. I've watched every single episode, every minute on the island. Charlene and I, huge, huge fans of it. So many people I know, it got too crazy, too weird, and a lot of people stopped watching it. But at the end, I know a lot of people came back. So, just two things I want to talk about. One is what about that ending? What did it all mean? And two, do I think it ended the way it should have? And was there a better way to end it? So, first things first. The ending, what did I think? Well, I got to tell you, I'm happy that the ending didn't ruin the show. You know, sometimes you see an ending of a movie or a TV show and it's so bad and it's so weird and it's so on its head that you're like, oh, that makes the rest of the show terrible. That's how I feel about the new Star Wars episodes. I actually have a ban on it with my buddy David Levine, friend of 26 years. We banned the third movie and because we were just like, it's just getting so bad. So we banned the final episode. And honestly, the new movies we thought were so bad that they ruined all the other movies. Now, I'm very, very thankful that the show finale of Lost, I don't feel like it ruined Lost. I don't feel like it was like, oh, I can't stand it now. I can't believe I liked it. However, I also don't feel like it was as good as it could have been. I feel like it kind of lost some of the oomph. It didn't leave me at the end going, oh my goodness, that was amazing. I got to rewatch all 97 episodes right now or whatever it is. I need to watch it all over again. So it didn't leave me with that. And the reason is, one of the coolest things about the where Lost was going was that whole side flash, right? They're in this new alternate future, and all of a sudden these people start getting awakened and they start having these revelations. It was very, very cool, especially when that first time when Desmond and Charlie, when they wake each other up. Sorry if you're not a Lost fan. Give me 60 seconds and I'll be done, I promise. But you should watch Lost. It's a good show. Anyways, that was all great. But the bottom line is, at the end of the show, what does it amount to? It amounts to that they were all in some sort of subconscious, collective consciousness purgatory, that they had to be awakened to heaven. And the whole point was, it just sort of seemed like it didn't amount to a whole lot. That whole alternate life that seemed so important and so different just really was like this sort of subconscious-y awakening from an afterlife, which just really isn't as interesting as something happening in real life. So that's why I was kind of just like, meh. So how would I have ended Lost? Here it is. Here you go. You ready? What happens is, boom, everything goes the same, except when Jack fights the smoke monster, the island gets destroyed, everybody dies. And what happens is, in the real time, when they wake up and they have the revelation, they decide to go back to the island. But this time, when they get back to the island, it's actually pure and it's good, because Jack defeated the smoke monster in this alternate time continuing, and they get to actually enjoy the island the way it's supposed to be. Of course, you always have to have the little twist at the end, because that's what Lost is about, and I'd probably have it about something like, maybe there's a fight about whether or not we bring Walt back because we think Walt is the chosen person, and maybe he's actually not, and when they bring Walt back, they realize it, and they realize that they brought the smoke monster back again, or the sort of incarnation of the smoke monster. So that's how I would have ended it. Still a great show. Finale, okay, I can live with it. Last but not least, my Gulf oil spill solution. I gotta tell you, this is super upsetting, because if you follow my shows and you've seen the Virtual Deal Factory webisodes from a couple weeks ago, I was out in Rosemary Beach on the Gulf Coast. It is beautiful, the Emerald Coast. I was amazed at how beautiful it is, and I had the fortune of growing up, and my parents took us to the Bahamas and Mexico, and I never thought you could see white sand beaches and green water inside of the U.S., but you can in the Emerald Coast. At least you have been able to up to this point, depending on what happens with this oil spill. So it's super upsetting. It's upsetting personally. It's upsetting from a business standpoint. Once had a great philosophy class that made so many good points about the corporation and how it's so interesting, because corporations get to essentially do the things that people do, like own assets, buy and sell land, and do all these things, yet they have none of the repercussions of people, right? If a person did something, if there was like one guy who went out there and like blew up the ocean, he'd be in jail right now, right? If he killed all those animals and did that kind of environment, he'd be in jail right now. But a corporation, it's just sort of like you give them a fine, which obviously isn't hurting BP bad enough, otherwise they'd move a little faster. So my idea is, now I'm not a political activist, that's why I haven't done this. But for those of you that are impassioned, maybe this sparks something. Just don't tell them it was my idea, because this might get somebody in trouble. Is honestly, I think it's pretty easy to fix the Gulf oil spill. You go on Facebook, you find, say, 10 celebrities or big government people that have like 10,000 Facebook friends, and you start a boycott of BP, and you tell everybody, nobody fill up at BP. Let's face it, anywhere you go, there's always millions of gas stations to fill up. You don't have to go to BP. I bet you after 4 or 5 days of BP getting no money at their gas stations, even though people might say you're hurting their franchises or you're hurting their employees. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, at the end of the day is if a business is wrong and they've done wrong, you know, we should speak out against them, and sometimes the people need to be heard. So that would be my idea, and I would bet you there would be a very different response, and we wouldn't be going on almost 2 months of an unstopped oil spill if people stopped buying BP gas 60 days ago when this started. So take the ball, run with it. Just do not give me credit because I don't want to get in trouble. So that's what I have for you. Glad to see you inside the Virtual Deal Factory. Don't forget, this week, before it goes away, Vinny's Pick of the Week, hand-picked for you to just equip you in your business, help you make more money, have more fun, do more deals. Make sure to check out Vinny's Pick of the Week. Even if you don't think it's for you, trust me, click on it, read it over, look into it, and make sure you check it out before it's gone. And that's what I got for you. Thanks for being inside the Virtual Deal Factory. Make sure to come in daily, be active, make the most of it. There's tons of people here looking to do deals, opportunities, and it's all about you taking part of it, okay? We're all in this thing together. So thanks for watching. Damian here. I'm out. I'm out. I don't want to say that. That's what Ryan Seacrest says. That's so lame. Damian, catch you later. Man, I don't know. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.